You're watching CNN. I'm Brooke Baldwin. More now on our breaking news on the end of this manhunt, but the beginning of a search for answers here. Escaped cop killer David Sweat wounded by this one lone New York State trooper. He's now back in custody and in a hospital bed in Albany. We're now learning that Sweat was on his own actually for a couple of days before fellow fugitive Richard Matt was shot and killed. We're learning this because Sweat is now talking. He is revealing details to investigators about their getaway plan. And in just a couple of minutes, Gene Palmer, this prison guard here accused of helping Matt and Sweat, is due in court. He is accused of smuggling hamburger meat that was full of tools like a hacksaw to both of these fugitives. His attorney says Palmer didn't know what was inside the meat. That's what you'll hear in court. Meantime, let me bring in prison consultant and former federal inmate Larry Levine. Larry, welcome back.
Glad to be with you, Brooke.
All right, so David Sweat's talking. He says that the plan indeed was to get that getaway car from that seamstress Joyce Mitchell and head on to Mexico. And the fact that, Larry, it hasn't even been 24 hours since he was caught. This is a guy in the hospital, and that he has cracked. Does it surprise you he's cracked so quickly?
No, not really. I imagine there's, no pun intended, Brooke, there's a lot of people at Clinton sweating David Sweat right now, because he knows the dirt on the institution. He was there for a long time, and they were probably hoping the cops would have taken him out and killed him also. I mean, he's serving a life sentence, so what does he really have to lose?
You really think that? I mean, all that planning, and he'd be okay with suicide by cop?
He necessarily wouldn't be okay with it, but I'm talking about all the people at Clinton that probably helped him, staff members, other inmates. They wanted him dead. They didn't want him taken alive because he knows things. Clinton Correctional, the people have been there for so long that he knows the dirt on the people. He has dirt on other inmates. And Governor Cuomo, he wants to know that. The Department of Corrections, everybody wants to pick his brain to know what is going on in that institution.
So what's in it for him if he gives up the dirt?
Well, for one, he'll serve better. He's never getting out. Let's face that. He'll get better food. He'll be sent to a better institution. When somebody escapes from custody, they normally send you to the SHU, known as the Special Housing Unit, solitary confinement, for up to 5 years. Maybe he will only spend 6 months in there. Maybe he'll never spend any time in the SHU. So he will have certain advantages to cooperating. I mean, right now, what is he really facing? He's facing escape. Well, he's not going to serve any extra time. He's facing burglary, possibly for the cabins that they broke into. He wasn't caught with a weapon, so there's no felon in possession of a firearm. So really, his living conditions is what he has to gain. But then on the other hand, if he testifies against, let's say, other law enforcement, other correctional officers, wherever they move him, there's the brotherhood of law enforcement. He's going to have a hard time wherever he goes. He may end up going into a federal institution just to take him out of the state.
Do you think he would go back to Clinton, Larry, or would he go elsewhere?
Absolutely not. He will never, ever go back to Clinton Correctional because the staff there is out to get him. He knows that. The staff knows that. The director of the Department of Corrections, they know that.
But Larry, everyone knows his story. This has made nationwide headlines. I mean, wherever he goes, these correctional officers are going to know who this guy is.
True, but he will have not had direct contact with those staff members. They move the staff members around periodically. Well, let's say they throw him back at Clinton. Now he's around hundreds of correctional officers that he was with for several years, and he knows things about all these people. So they are all sweating him out. Let's say they sent him to upstate correctional in New York. He really doesn't know anybody there. So those people, they're not going to be happy with him, but they're not going to treat him the same way that the staff at Clinton would treat him.
Okay. All right. Larry Levine, thank you so much. I want to go.